Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Jeremycrazy30 Promotion against real life promotions. And we have signed a lot of talent, made into two different brands, and kind of had the original people that I signed at the beginning on the main eventers brand event, so to speak, and have the people that I'm signing and kind of keeping at pay per appearance type salaries on the Rising Stars. And the main eventers, they all have the written contracts, and the Rising Stars are keeping until pay per appearance until they get moved up to main eventers and stuff like that. Then I will move them to written contracts and will help with the merchandise. But it's kind of still new and fresh within it since we are in the 7th month. That's only 6 months have gone by, and they still have to work their way up to be even more popular as the time goes on. So last episode, both shows had 70 and above, so had $500,000 added to the pot after the month, because that's when everything gets all put together. And then merchandise wise and the ticket sales, since we're doing 100 for the Rising Stars and 500 for the main eventers, as soon as the main eventers gets like 500 or even 500 for 2 shows, then we boost them up one, and then we boost up the Rising Stars. That way it's slowly building up, and we're at least making revenue on one show to increase the popularity, and then another show to kind of sustain it, so to speak, because the last event, the Rising Stars had it sold out, and then the main eventers had 408 out of 500. So we've kind of doubled within our staff and everything, from going from 18,000 to 35,000. And then overall, when it comes to production and everything, kind of increased as well. I thought they may have fixed it, because this guy works on it regularly, that it was overall, it kind of seemed like nothing really changed, that it would stay 600 throughout the whole month. But I think overall within the game that it increases as you use the production and everything else. So but we are now getting sponsorship money. So for the 2 shows, we're getting 140 per month, 70 per show, and got new storylines going on. So started those while keeping the old ones still running, and also within 3 shows of each, we're going to have kind of the first pay-per-view, so to speak, the live event, premium live event is what they're calling them now in WWE. Pay-per-views, kind of the same thing. So it is called Title Clash, and it's in September. For this kind of series, I'm going to try to do it kind of how AEW kind of had it started out, where they did it for the first year. It was like every 3 months, or even the first 2 years, it was like every 3 months there was, so a quarter of the year there was a pay-per-view. Now everything's kind of once per month, and at the end of the month, you got a pay-per-view. You may be skipping 1 month and kind of building to the next bigger one to make it, the storyline's big and everything. But starting off, we're going to do one quarter of the year. So it just happened to be that coming up on this quarter of the year would be in September, and then one in December, and it goes on to the next year. But let's get into the Rising Stars. And also, not every storyline is going to be used. Kind of just thinking about it, how you try to use all of them, and with the time and everything else of that you have to book, because you can set it to like 2 to 3 hours and stuff like that. And then there's minimum time you have to book and maximum time you have to book. And so some of the storylines kind of keeping popular, or the ones that are going for titles, since some of them have titles now, kind of keeping those as the important ones, or the first ones on deck, and then kind of intertwining the other ones. That way they're still relevant within the show, but they aren't going on as frequently, so to speak. And also with pay-per-appearance, then it may be less money that I use for that case. Obviously the contract ones, they're standard hit per month, but with the pay-per-appearance, it could, dip down the money a little bit, because not everyone will be active in a title storyline, so to speak. So let's move on for the 8 days and see if there's any medical stuff going on too as well, because every Monday they do their checks of see who is good and who's not. Main event request. Alright, here Armani. Kind of right now, you're not really in that main event picture. So I'm going to reject that promise. You may hate me now, but possibly down the road you could be in the main event picture. But as of right now, with your storyline, your ratings haven't been the greatest. Maybe the last show they kind of had a really good rating at 87%. But overall, in general, like, the matches haven't been the greatest. I don't know why also this game has it that way, where like the angles and everything could be really, really good, but then when it comes to the matches, it's just like 20 to 30 below than what you'd want it to be. And then you see the ratings roundup of YouTube getting those viewers and stuff like that. So we're gonna 2 days away. Okay. Because I know it doesn't simulate through the day. So we are Rising Stars, have everything pre-booked like I normally do. Usually I was going to have this where I book it as I, record the video, but I felt like that was going to take too long, and sometimes these videos even take a lot longer. So it's already pre-booked, and all I have to do is start the show. And we're starting off with Elias duo, so Elias Browning and Zunga versus Tyler Cardenas and Bobby Nichols. So the thing is that last event, they all clashed in an angle, and it gave us 78%. And it was Nicholas Singleton, Tyler Cardenas, and then it was the Elias duo. But then, unfortunately, Nicholas Singleton signed an exclusive written contract with somebody else, and so he was taken away from my company in general. So I couldn't use him further on. So I found a replacement in Bobby Nichols. So hopefully this all works. Bobby Nichols even got the win for him. But back into this, that Elias Browning added his intimidating presence. He was strong for breath at the end of the match. Bobby Nichols had a boost of his gimmick and also star power. The intimidating presence of Taylor Cardenas, and was struggling for breath. The vocal crowd were in love with it. Their reaction made it even better. Bobby Nichols did the heavy lifting. And then Elias... they involved all of the locations now. Usually it's just the only one. But Elias Browning got -1. Maybe he was the one that got pinned, so it decreased his popularity, and then Nichols and Cardenas gained 0.2. They had a 100% crowd reaction with the 76 calculation. The match quality was the 63%, 2-star rating. And then their true segment score was a 70%, but a 55 final score. Like I was mentioning, their angle of rating of their angle of the last event, because I have it written down, was a 78%. And then they go from a 78% of an angle to a 55 final score rating for a match. So it's kind of just like their angle skills way better than their match skills, and it just progresses as, the storyline goes on. But that's just one example of how it can be confusing in that way. So we're going to move on to the next one, and it is Oliver Hayes and Ezra Turner. Ezra Turner was kind of given a promo and everything last event, and now Oliver Hayes is going to kind of do his kind of, introducing the storyline. And Oliver Hayes, he makes his entrance, which gives it a 33%. He cuts a promo on Turner, and then he just gets, suddenly attacked by Ezra Turner, from the crowd, coming from the crowd from behind. And then Oliver Hayes gets some medical attention after the attack. And the overall rating was a 34, a true segment score with a 30%. They both gained 0.2 from it, but overall in general, what could you do with that? So we have Sarah Goncalves and Nola Skinner. They had a angle last event, and now they have a match against each other. Sarah was struggling for breath at the end, and the vocal crowd were in love with the segment. Their reaction made it even better. Sarah and Nola have decent chemistry as opponents, so that even adds it even better. That they are decent. They have a decent chemistry as opponents, so that is very good. And these guys don't really have gimmicks. That's what it is. Don't really have gimmicks because their kind of attributes are kind of confusing a little bit. And also, they were kind of in the batch of the original, but I didn't know what to do because they were kind of midway signings of, maybe I would introduce some other people and stuff like that. But overall in general, they fit nice when it comes to this brand of things, so that way they can kind of build their character and then kind of move to the main eventers. Or eventually it's going to be that one show is going to have, kind of have main eventers up there, and then, your mid-card and everything kind of sharing the roles of everything. But right now with this promotion, everything is lower mid-card until you get a championship, which I still have to change a few people, because as soon as they get a championship, then they move up, and then defenses, if they win, they move up and stuff like that. So it kind of, a domino effect of kind of getting up there. And if you've, had it and you lose it, well, you kind of stay where you're at, and then the other person moves up and stuff like that. So Nola Skinner gains 0.2, and then Sarah Goncalves loses 0.1. They had a 53 calculation score with 100% crowd reaction, 35 35% match quality with a negative 1-star rating, and a 44 true segment score with a 35% final score. Then we have the other duo that I've kind of signed midway through. Don't really have gimmicks. Having a angle after Kamani last event won, and he was making his entrance. He talks about Naku and cuts a promo overall as well. when he makes his entrance, 84%. Talks about Mr. Cooper, 83, and then a 71 when it came to cutting a promo. Overall, in general, and they both gained 0.2 from it, which is very nice. And their true segment score was an 89 with a 77% final score. So very good to raise up the ratings a little bit towards the middle of the show after kind of, a bummy beginning so far with 30 and a 35% ratings. With the 55, good decent start, but you'd strive to want to have a better product. And then we have, negative 5 stars. Oh, yikes. Alright, we got an achievement, but that's not what we wanted. And it was a 1% match quality. Oof. Oh boy. So, now we know a negative 5-star match. That's not good. And a 100% crowd reaction with the 47 calculation. And we had a 19% final score with the 24 true segment score. Alright. So, Larry Norris and Taku Akita, after having a angle last event to have a match against each other, Larry Norris had a boost of his gimmick, star power, and he was strong for breath. And then the intimidating presence of Taku, he was strong for breath as well. Larry Norris did the heavy lifting, the vocal crowd staying the same. Larry Norris gained 0.2, and Taku gained, or didn't gain, but lost 0.1. So, I wonder what happened there. Not much chemistry, or just overall they don't mesh together. And strange. But we boost a little bit up to get a 54%. We have Amy Stone, Barbara Page, and then we have the IQ Lawson, which is the announcer. So, a tag team matchup. Amy Stone, Barbara Page, they won last event against each other. The entrance made it of their segments, added to it, and the looks of Amy Stone added to the beat as well for 77%. Started talking, saying like, hey, we won, we are, the better tag team, everything else. Gave it a 48%. And then they were cutting a promo, said some words about their opponent, how even better, we're going to beat you next time, overall in general. And then Paige Martin and Courtney Delaney make their entrance too as well. And they gain in a verbal sparring match of like, this isn't over. You may have won last event, but we're going to come after you, and we're going to keep this going. Like, we're going to want a rematch. We're going to be like, that was a whole fluke. Like, yeah, we're not even done. We'll even try to do one-on-one matchups until, title clash. Like, if we got to do that, we'll do one-on-ones. And, Iker Lawson and everything else are, they kind of do a stare down, and then he's making a match, to have the first official match for title clash is announced. Courtney and Paige Martin against Amy Stone and Barbara Page at title clash. That's what the announcement was. And also, they're going to do one-on-one. Whether it be Amy Stone and Courtney or Amy Stone and Paige, one-on-one till, title clash. And that is the first match announced by Mr. Lawson. And we have Maria Alejandra and Janaya Hickman going one-on-one after each other. Janaya won with a negative 1-star match rating, 34% match quality. They had a 56% true segment score with a 44% final score. and then 79 true calculation with the 100% crowd reaction. Maria was struggling, and she had a boost of her gimmick. The good looks of Janaya added to it. The vocal crowd were in love with it, and Janaya did the heavy lifting. And Janaya gained 0.2. Maria lost 0.1. Then we got the Battle of the Lucas. Luca Gibson and Luca Barone. Luca Gibson won last event and was wanting to make a name of himself of, I'm the better Luca, the Battle of the Lucas. And so he makes his entrance, cuts a promo, and then Luca Barone enters in. They do a stare down, then they engage in a brawl, and then everybody from the backstage staff and everyone else is coming to pull him apart, and successfully doing so to get a true segment score of an 82% with a 71% final score. Then we got some big top people, kind of their star power is a little up there towards the end of the show, of Candice Mayer and Taylor Ashley. These two guys had pretty high up there in star power. Candice won last match, and the star power and good looks of Candice added to it. Talks about Taylor Ashley, gets it a 84 and a 77%. Good look, star power. Both of them added to the beat. He cuts a promo. Same thing as talking about him. And then Taylor Ashley makes his appearance. 84%. And they just literally do a stare down with each other of like, he's kind of like, not kind of basically shutting him up. I'm going to come and make an entrance, come into the ring and stare you down. You could talk about me all you want, but I am just going to come in and just try to disrupt your momentum of what you're trying to talk about right now, and just kind of shut you up and stare down and, kind of get that rivalry going a little bit. And then we have Isla Carter and Poppy Carter going at it with each other. They kind of had promos last event of saying some things about each other, cutting promos and everything. Had very good star ratings to finally get the fulfillment of, being in that main event, to have a negative half-star match with the 42 match rating, 40% final score with the 52% true segment score, and then a 61% calculation of 100% crowd reaction. And star power good looks of Isla Carter was all about it, and she won. She gained 0.2. Poppy Carter lost 0.1. Full crowd were in love with it, and Isla Carter was drawing for breath as well in the match. We will end the show, and we got a 70%, just good enough to get $250,000 at the end of the month, on the first day of the next month, because that's when kind of all the payroll happens, and so we do it at the end. So a 70% score for the Rising Stars. And we will see. We sold out again. $1,050 in ticket sales as well. So we will skip to the next one, not look at anything else, and just try to get to the 30th of July. And that is all set up, and just a couple of clicks. The show will happen. The spotlight had, just under 3. 1,000. And local indie shows will have shows throughout the month too as well, kind of to implement we're going to reject that because that's not within your storyline. Sorry about that, to kind of cut it off. But within this game, they have local indie shows because within the updates, it had a message of trying to make the players that aren't employed, the wrestlers, I don't know if the announcement crew and the backstage staff and all the other stuff are involved in it, but it makes the wrestlers that aren't employed to the promotions that I create within this database, so to speak, is what it's called. They are relevant to wrestle other wrestlers with the local indie shows. Like, these are the best promotions within the world, and that these people are going from indie show to indie show and stuff like that in wrestling. Just like in today's world of everywhere, there's promotions, small promotions that have wrestlers coming to their show and being that star person traveling around from whether it be state to state or all over the state that they live in. So we're going to move on to the next show. And what could be before September? That's not going to happen. I apologize. And if things were to go wrong that they leave, well, I'm sorry. It's not in the storyline of what you have right now. And main eventers and start show. Alright. So Kofi Orgy won the title 2 events ago. And he did his kind of celebration promo last event. And now we're coming back with like the first thing within this show of Dallas Jones giving some words to say that, yo, I want my rematch. Like, I deserve to have that title. I've worked hard all my life to wrestle, and nobody's gonna stop me and wanting to have the JWP Heavyweight Championship. Now, Kofi is like, I've wrestled all my life too, and I've worked very hard, and I just was the better person on top, and I will give you your rematch. But if I were to win and retain it, you cannot have another title shot while I have it in my hand. If someone else has it, great, you can go for them. But as long as I have this title in my hand, when we are done with this rematch, that it could happen anytime. It could even happen at Title Clash that's coming up. You will not have another rematch again. And Dallas, is going to accept it. Dallas Jones cuts a promo, makes his entrance, cuts a promo, and then Cordy talks about Dallas, so they're kind of, talking about each other, and they agree on that. And then Barbara Prince makes a match involving Dallas Jones and Kofi Orgy at Title Clash for the title. And Kofi's like, he could do it before, but it is official that it will be at least at Title Clash. So, we have 2 matches that have been announced for Title Clash. It's the tag team of Barbara and Amy with Paige and Courtney, and now Dallas and Kofi are the 2 matches that are named at Title Clash so far. And they have a final score of 45% with a 52%. And Kofi and Barbara both gained 0.2. Dallas gained nothing. Then we got Hamish Johnston and Lashlyn Allen. Had a boost. Hamish had a boost of his gimmick. Hamish wins. He's gained 0.2. Allen lost 0.1. They had a 64% 100 crowd reaction, 35% match quality with a negative star, and then a 49% true segment score and a 39% final score. And we got an angle with a interview by Lucas Estrada, one of the newest announcers, kind of like the backstage staff talking people, of the interview that Kawhi Morris, his tag team that was facing Xavier Trevino and King Burks as the badass duos, is now injured for some time. So, kinda interviewed Ryder to see how he's doing overall in general, and just kinda, hopes for when Kawhi comes back that Ryder is gonna search for a vengeance on Xavier Trevino and King Burks, or he's gonna face them one-on-one for these next 2 weeks, or next 2 events, and see if he can come with the better man on top against both of them, one-on-one. Whether it be Xavier the next event, and then King Burks, or King Burks and then Xavier. Who knows? But he is ready to search a vengeance on both of them for his tag teammate being injured, saying that it's their fault. He is injured and they're going to have to pay for it from Ryder. And final score, a true segment score of 63 or 63 and 55 final score. Then we got Aaron Willis and Tema Murphy struggling for breath. They have decent chemistry, -5 star with a -12% match quality, 76% true crowd reaction, and 100% or true absolute value with 100% crowd reaction. True segment score of 32, 25 as the final. Tema didn't lose anything, and Aaron gained 0.2. But I didn't feel like anyone had the psychology knowledge to need to put a match this length together, causing it to fall apart. Alright, so they can't do 10-minute matches, but they could probably do a 5-minute match. But they're developing as they go on, even though they are the main eventers, but they will grow. Then we got Money is Life and Faces That Run the Place having an angle on Jaime and Kevin making their entrance, kind of celebrating about their win because they just got the tag team titles and everything else. And then while Kevin is out there, kind of mentioning that he has a every event championship match opportunity against Nathaniel Williamson. So he stayed out there, and just Nathaniel Williamson came out. Jaime was in the corner. Flint Allen came out too as well, kind of watching from the kind of the announcement table, or just sitting in a corner. Kevin Vera had a boost of his gimmick. He was struggling for breath at the end. And it didn't feel like anyone had the psychology knowledge needed to put Link together. The vocal crowd were in love with it. And Nathaniel Williamson successfully retains his JWP Every Event Championship. So he gains 0.2 and Kevin loses 0.1. They had a 54% absolute value calculation, 71% match quality, and then a 49% final score with a 2.5 star rating, and then a 62% true segment score. Then after the match, after Mr. Williamson winning it, Flynn Allen just was like coming out of the corner and attacking him. And then he cuts a promo. He's like, yeah, you may have won and defended your championship, but I'm coming for you with that championship. Whether it be the next event or even at Title Clash. I'm just going to be in your ear, in that corner that's going to be that pest or that devil on your shoulder that's going to be coming at you from behind, and or just being that pest that's going to be in the way and hoping that you fail and lose the title. So he's going to get moved up a couple of spots. After this event, I'm going to move the people up respectively, because he should be now a upper mid-card person since he's defended the title. He's won the title, so I'd move him up, and he's defended it once. So he will be up in the upper mid-card after this thing is done. So attacked by Flynn, cuts a promo, then Nathaniel receives some medical attention after it. They had a true segment score of 82% with a 72% final score. Then we have a heels and faces where the heels won the tag team titles last event too as well. They won the tag team titles, so they're trying to celebrate and cut a promo against the faces, but the faces aren't going to go away. They're going to come for a rematch and everything else, or just keep coming at them until they get their tag team titles, or just kind of be like, we're going to come after you and we're going to be in the way, so if you defend your titles with somebody else, we're going to be there to interfere, and hopefully you fail, but yet you're going to keep the titles until they earn them from them. So main entrance 65-49% when it came to the talking, and then cutting the promo dropped it to a 44. They had a true segment score of a 55, 48% final score, and everyone gained 0.2. Then we got Kaio and Lucia. Lucia Fowler won the match. She had a boost of her gimmick, good looks added to it. And then she gained 0.2. Kaio lost 0.1. The 49% absolute value with 100% crowd reaction. 1.5 star match with the 61 match quality. And then the 55-43 final score. Then we have Roderick Riley and Liam Bailey. As Roderick Riley won the mid-card championship last event. They both gained 0.2. He makes his entrance, 96%, making it extravagant. You know, I've won the title, and everything else. Then he talks about Liam, dropped to a 91%. Then Liam makes his entrance, drop it down to an 86. And then they engage in this verbal sparring match of like, you may have won it, but I'm also gonna, come after you, and we're gonna be in this together for a while. I would want my rematch at Title Clash, for the mid card championship. May wrestle another time before that match comes, and just want you to know that now I got a chip on my shoulder of wanting that mid card championship. And Roderick was like, yeah, I have no problem. Like, we had a good, decent match. I just ended up being on top. And I am going to dominate again. I'm going to keep the championship and dominate. And Liam Bailey is going to be like, enough of that. You got the title. But that doesn't mean you're going to keep it. Like, I'm going to come up on top too as well. So then they do a stare down for a little bit and gain it up to an 80%, 96% true segment score with the 84% calculation final score. Then we have Ellie and Rini as the main event. Struggling for breath, the intimidation presence. Ellie was struggling for breath, and then Rini did the heavy lifting. Ellie won. She gains 0.2. Rini didn't lose anything. They had a 55 absolute value calculation with 100% crowd reaction, 27 quality, negative 2-star match, and a 41% true segment score with the 32 final score. We're gonna end the show, and they got a 70% as well. So the overall promotion gets $500,000 at the end. So, with that being said, we're going to do emails. And it was last event, because I have it written down, 402. We went from 402 to 489. So that increased quite a bit. I'm thinking that the next event maybe you get to 500, or even after that. So, overall in general, we gotta do some business within the roster. He's got to get a change of push to mid-card, make that change. He's got to get a push to mid-card. Kofi, she's got to get a change to mid-card. Kofi don't have to touch. Obviously, you saw Kawhi. He's got to change to upper mid-card. So he's going to like me even a lot because he's also with WWE. Same as Roderick Riley, too, as well. They are... got a couple of titles within WWE, and I think, Roderick Riley and Williamson face each other in WWE, probably for the title, and Williamson won it against Roderick Riley, because in here it says he was a one-time WWE heavyweight champion, and he is a mid-card championship currently. So, I didn't change him yet. So he is a mid-card now. So he's going to like me a little bit. And he is a 99-star power. So he's just going to grow. Entertainment at 100, basically. Psychology... It's kind of growing a little bit. So yeah, what's nice about it is you just see the growth of these superstars, and since he also is with WWE, it's going to grow even more. But it also depends on like the public image of the people on how it grows. So, and also we can add 0.2 technically to any promotion as well to try and gain that network deal, because it's like one has to be at like 20 so-ish, and then the others have to be at like 5, and so it's gonna be a while. And right now we have Latin America, Asia, and Oceania at 0.1 each, so it's Africa and Europe we don't have touched. So we are going to, and we can also add 0.2 to us as well, so we'd be at a 5.6, and then the 500. But we are going to simulate to the next day, that way we're in the August. Database, promotions, so everyone is going to be at 0.1, because then if we do this, it's just going to be at a 1. We're kind of do that for the first year, and then after that it's probably going to be a 1, like a full point, because within this game like it does that, and so it just like doesn't save properly unless if you do it once or two or 3 times. So overall in general, after these next couple, after the few months have gone by within this promotion, that it will change, and also with the other series it will change to just 1 point, and it'll make it kind of go a little bit faster, get that network deal done, because within the other series I'm in 2023, so I'm in it a few years into it, or a couple of years I should say, and just keep that ball rolling. And we will look at our finances real quick. So we went from almost adding $1,000 in merchandise, 6,000, with almost having the 500 in that room. A little bit downwards within the payroll, probably because we didn't use everybody from the overall promotion. We have like 1 or 2 that was in the main eventers we didn't use, and then we had like 1 in the, or we had many in pay-per appearance, because I was kind of going based off of who's kind of relevant for maybe getting the title for the title clash, and kind of getting that ball rolling, as I keep saying, on trying to get those ratings up on those storylines, and kind of getting those good finishes on those storylines, I should say. Kind of just playing, I've been playing this game out, kind of doing this as the series, and gotta add that 500,000. So our money, so it's going to be so this is going to be a 9. Oh no. Yeah, because it would be 1, 2. Because it was 897. Alright, I'll just do my calculator real quick. So 9897 14602 plus 500. Okay. So it's going to be 02. I'll save changes. If I'm off by, 100,000 or something like that. Because see, now it's gonna go to like 5, and it was at 5.6. So, and then all these others are gonna, they're gonna dip down because I went in there in the database. So 5.6.1. Yeah, we're just gonna make full points probably. I know I said at the end of the year, maybe even towards the rest of the back 3 there. Successfully saved, and now everything's back. There, yeah, because when I went in there it changed to 0 and then it's back to 0.1. So I will just do for now on. I thought maybe do it at the end of the year, but for now on, for this, it's going to be a point and same as the other. Kind of thinking on the fly as I'm making this video and seeing what's best for this game. I'm just kind of making a full point, just 1 point, and that's pretty good overall. And hopefully you've enjoyed this video. As we get closer to now Title Clash, we got 2 more events, each brand, so to speak, and hopefully you have a good one. Catch you later.